They blew a 3-0 lead in the third period. I can't believe it. Well, I mean, it was fun for 2 days. Hawks lose 5-4 in overtime to the Vegas Golden Knights on the road. Well, I guess this is karma for beating them on the road after losing to Arizona. We go on a 2-game winning streak against Anaheim and LA, and then we choke against Vegas here. I mean, I'm not going to go through that game. What do you want me to do? I'm not going through that game. It's just bad. It just makes me frustrated because we were really close to a 3-game winning streak there. I mean, we're on just our third winning streak of the year. We've had 2 4-game winning streaks, and that's it. It's our first winning streak since our second 4-game winning streak, which included Vegas. And yeah, I thought we were going to get to 3 and then sweep this road trip, but just was not meant to be. Just was not meant to be. What makes this worse is that this was on national television. This was on ABC. This wasn't, an ESPN Plus game that you could have definitely watched. It was definitely a game that was highlighted on the calendar because it was on ESPN Plus and not the regional networks. But I mean, you still have to pay to get ESPN Plus. No, this was on ESPN Plus, but it was also on ABC. So it was on a national television scale. And they choked. That's it. They choked. It was one of the few times that for more than 2 days I was not in complete and utter pessimism about the upcoming game. It just and to see them collapse like that, it's super disappointing and it's gut wrenching. I mean, they got the overtime, point, but I mean, that's the thing. We've got plenty of overtime wins this season, but not enough. Like, we have a lot of overtime losses, and that's not a good thing usually. This team is going to stumble across the finish line, and I mean, even though they suck, there's a lot of teams that have been really bad this year. The league this year, shockingly, especially in the Eastern Conference, has been here's your top teams, here your bottom teams. There's no in between. We all kind of, by the halfway point of the season, we knew the 8 teams who were going to the playoffs, and we knew the 8 teams who were going to miss the playoffs. I mean, by game 30, we knew that in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, there was more nuance, and there still is definitely more competition. But overall, the league has been very top and bottom. The top teams are really good, and the bottom teams are really bad. Coyotes and the Canadians and the Kraken have been really bad this season. The Senators haven't been great. The Flyers have had 2 separate 10-game losing streaks. The Devils aren't good. And then, we're not doing good either. And I mean, that's probably the glaring issues so even though we're having a really bad season, we may not even have a top 5 draft pick if we don't get a lottery pick. I mean, we're going to finish in the bottom 10 in the league. That's, a given. But I don't think we're going to be finishing in the bottom 5 of the league unless we go and absolutely tank for the rest of the season. And frankly, the draft lottery chances don't really change that much after the first 3 teams, the bottom 3. I mean, the top team, the team who finishes at the bottom has a 20% chance or something to win the draft lottery. I don't remember how many teams outside of the top 3, if any, have more than a 10% chance of winning the draft lottery. So frankly, if you're going to tank, you better tank to go to a bottom 3 position, or else it's pretty much a crapshoot for the rest of the the league. So it doesn't really matter that much where you finish outside of that. I mean, obviously, if you finish outside of the bottom 10 but still miss the playoffs, then you're not getting a draft lottery spot. unless a miracle happens. Um, I'm now starting to realize I've said a lot throughout this season how this team should be so much better than they are and than they're standing in position with the talent on paper. Now with Fleury gone, it's starting to hit more that yeah, we have Kane to brink it. Jones is a good defenseman. I think we probably are overpaying him, but he's a good defenseman. We needed a defenseman. Um, we still have Taves, which I mean he's definitely not his old form. I think about the names that are on the roster and I'm like, they're pretty good, but they aren't performing. Like it's simple. Like Kubalik and Doc, those are great players, or not great players. I continuously have faith for them to be good. They've shown flashes of greatness, but they're not consistent and they can't play well consistently, and it ends up leading to inconsistency and lack of depth that this team struggles from, which plays in. And frankly, the team's not good enough. We may have some names, but this isn't the NBA. This is actually one of the biggest reasons why I don't really watch the NBA too much, and I actually prefer something like college basketball. Is there's more incentive on it. It's a team sport, and one or two guys is not going to automatically guide you to the playoffs, especially in this league. We still have Kane and Taves, and we have DeBrincat. Doesn't matter. We're still one of the bottom 10 teams in the league. Yeah, the team's not going to go, and I think a lot of the times that the Hawks should be better, but in reality, they don't have enough roster. They may have names, but they were good a couple of years ago. They're not as good as they once were, and so when you go for, I mean, this was a problem with Stan Bowman. When you go for names to try and relive the glory days or try to get big names, that's it. I mean, in their age, like when we got Saad and traded Panarin, that was one of the dumbest moves he's ever made. I love Brandon Saad. And he didn't do horrible. But seeing how Panarin has turned out for the Blue Jackets and the Rangers now, it makes that trade look 20 times worse. Because Brandon Saad is not a bad player. He's still playing in the league. I think he's playing with. He's with one of our rival teams. I think it's either St. Louis or Minnesota. I don't remember exactly which. I think it's the Blues because I know he was with the Avs last year. Who knows? Maybe he's still there. I think he's with the Blues though. So he's still in the league. So we even traded him away. So we literally got nothing from that trade. And so we need to think. It's like baseball. The Yankees can sign all the big names they want, but a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, who are a very small market team, don't have that much money, can go all the way to the World Series in 2020 with some young talent and little-known guys that are signing for smaller contracts. And so the team needs they need to do a lot of retooling and rethinking about how things go. And I think we're just riding this season out after Bowman was exiled from the organization. I think our new GM is going to have to do a lot of work to erase what's some of the massive, massive errors that Bowman made, especially in these last couple of years. So that's one positive that came out of the scandal. Oh, man, it's like, man, that happened, almost 6 months ago at this point. Or actually, no, like 5 months ago. Yeah, and it feels like an eternity ago. But yeah, no, it's just been a long season, and we still have a month to go. We still have a month left of the season. Oh my God. I've been going on for long enough. That's going to do it for this one. I've been going on for long enough. The Hawks have the Sabres at home next. First time they play the Sabres in almost 3 years. So that's interesting. Kane against his hometown team again. Sabres aren't doing too hot this season as per usual, but they're doing better than you'd think, as they were notoriously really bad the last couple of years. They've been doing at least a little better this year. Who knows, maybe next year they may make a push for the playoffs, but for now it's a matchup between non-playoff teams, so it doesn't really matter that much. So hoping the Hawks can recover from this choke and get that W. that's all I've got. I went a little long, longer than I expected for this one. But anyways, if you liked it, please hit the like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more reactions. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.